Greetings, friends. My name is Mike Cosentino with Big Pete's Running Company, and a couple of team members of mine not too long ago said something to me that was so revealing. They said, we do such a great job of fitting our guests for shoes, but we hardly ever talk about what we do when our female guests need to get fit for a support top. It's just one of those topics that a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of time talking about, but we're going to change all that today. I've got a couple of friends of mine who are going to join me. We're going to just put that topic out there on the table. And for so many of you who haven't thought about it recently, and maybe even far more of you who are not yet wearing the right support top, we're going to give you what you need to think about. So first, here on my right is Matt Weber. Matt and I have known each other for a long time. Big Pete's Running Company was incepted in 2004. And Matt, I believe we've known each other now for 12 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It is a long time, but you've become a great friend to our organization. And just as importantly, for this conversation, Matt is the territory manager for both Brooks and Moving Comfort, is a genuine expert. I know that some might say, why don't you call this Bros on Bras or something like that? What we're not going to do is tell you that we know everything. We've got another guest who's going to join us.
Exactly.
But for the time being, I think you and I believe that Moving Comfort for a long time has made the best sports bra in the market. But whether that's true or not, or whether someone feels the exact same way, why would you say that that is true? What does Moving Comfort do with their technology that you believe is so important everyone should know about?
I think the most important thing with Moving Comfort is basically the adjustability. I think it all kind of boils down to that perfect fit for you. There are a lot of sports bras in the world, and ours are really kind of engineered to fit you perfectly with the little adjustments that we put in. They're also based on the amount of support that you want for different activities. There is no one perfect sports bra for every single person, just like there is not one perfect shoe for every single person. Sure. It's really based upon what you're looking to get out of your sports bra, what type of activities you're doing, how often you're working out, and are you riding your bike some days? Are you running some days? And they're really kind of engineered based on biomechanics.
When you mention biomechanics, it makes me think that that level of detail is also important for support tops. Is that true?
You're exactly right. I think most people have assumed that, we do biomechanic testing with footwear only, right? We're putting sensors on the body, we're putting people on the treadmill, and we're recording them as they move. Well, the same technology same insight is coming from the support top side. We're using sensors, we're using women on treadmills, and we're actually measuring the amount of bounce, the amount of support, the amount of natural movement in a woman's body to help develop our bras.
That's awesome. That's part of why they fit so well and why Moving Comfort and Brooks can make some of the claims they do. It is scientific.
It's very scientifically based.
So there's a lot of variation in just as much as the activity, and one of the things that Moving Comfort does so well, in my opinion, is it fits, athletes of every ability and every body type. It truly is one of those things that's a customized product.
Correct.
But here's something I heard recently, and you can confirm if it's true or not. I heard that almost 80% of women who are wearing a support top are wearing the wrong support top or the incorrect size.
Correct.
Is that a fair statement?
That is.
So if you think about, hey, you know what, we're guys.
Yep.
What do we know, right? Doesn't
Never
really
tried
matter
one
what
in
we
my
think.
life.
That's exactly right. I think we also can agree that in our world, women are almost always right?
Correct.
But here's 80% making the wrong decision. That's staggering. How is that possible? What is it that they're not taking into account enough to make the right choice?
And I don't think it's anything that they're doing wrong, but typically what we see is that the band is too big and the cup is a little bit too small.
Okay, so that's big. That's actually tweetable. If you have ever been in the wrong support top, or you haven't wanted to tell a friend that, hey, I'm not so sure you're wearing the right one, the band is too big.
Correct. Which is leading to the chafing. Correct.
Chafing because the band's too big.
Because the band is too big. You should be able to fit about 2 fingers underneath the band at any time. And about 80% of the support should be in the band.
And then the cup is too small for many women.
Correct. So when the band is a little bit too big, they feel it's a little too loose, their automatic assumption is to go down in a cup size.
So common mistake. We're gonna see if that holds any water, because guess what? This is who I have as our really special guest, not just because of the fact that she's a team member of ours. Rachel Tucker here to my left is our general manager in our Marietta location. But before we had the good fortune of having Rachel as part of our team, I got to know Rachel personally, and I know that she is a a consumer of these types of products, as a user who does a lot of activities, as a mom with additional hobbies, she's someone that can really validate what you're saying as well as give us some things to think about. So Rachel, I'm going to put you on the spot here for a second. You heard Matt say a lot of people are incorrectly fit, bands too big, cups too small. What are some of the things that now you know, because you're around product catalogs, you're around people like Matt Weber, that you wish you would have known when you weren't with Big Peach Running Company?
How important it is to properly be fit in your support top. How important it is to get that band just right for you, to provide the best support and to help reduce uncomfortable situations like chafing, extra
Have you
movement.
chafed? I mean, was that something that was an
It's
issue?
a very real thing. It's very painful, honestly. And it actually will, if too much of it too often is happening, women won't work out or be doing the same activities that they love.
And are there
They'll get
women out there that are
frustrated.
chafing around their support top and not chafing anywhere else?
Right, exactly.
Rachel, one of the things that I heard not too long ago, and this is disturbing to me on a number of levels, but someone said, or it was read or reported, that up to 40% of women who would like to work out do not for one reason alone. And that is because they believe they're, and Matt, you use the term, have too much bounce. And it's embarrassing that they're going to be seen out doing their exercise of choice, let's say it's running or CrossFit, because of that bounce. 4 in 10. Disturbing because I think about my wife or my daughter and to not be able to go out comfortably and confidently to do what she wants because of this that I can't quite get in her head and say, here's how you solve for that. But you might be able to, given your own personal experience, knowing what you know professionally. What would you say to that woman who right now is part of that 40%, is not working out or is not working out as regularly as she should because of the bounce or maybe just the inappropriate sports bra fit?
I would let her know that we have something for her. We have something that's comfortable and supportive and cute and stylish all at the same time.
That's important too,
Because that's
right?
important
Yes,
too.
okay.
And that it doesn't have to be intimidating or that you have to be shy or embarrassed by that. I mean, we're all women, we're all different shapes and sizes and fitness levels, and we've all had to start somewhere. And that's what we're here to do, is to help make that woman feel confident and comfortable with us in providing a fit.
So that's a great lead in, because I think it's important that, and I mentioned shoes, and it's easy for me to do so, partially as a guy, partially being in the running industry. There are certain things when somebody comes in to get fit for a pair of shoes, I know we're going to assess their foot shape, how high their arch profile is, how broad or narrow their feet might be. We're going to look at what their gait cycle tendencies are. Do they tend to collapse inward? Do they tend to fall to the lateral side when they're walking or running? There are certain things that we just know we have to look at. I would imagine the same is true for a support top fitting, but not having been there, knowing we're not going to parade in a model, knowing that you're not going to be able to fit Matt or me with any level of anything but comedy. What is it that has to happen? Maybe in being fit for a bra, whether it's a sports bra or any other kind of bra, what has to be taken into consideration in order for someone to be properly fit?
I start by asking what size they're currently in, if they know.
Okay.
And let them know that we're just going to take 2 quick, simple measurements across the rib cage and across the chest. And we don't even need to be touching the body when we do so. And we can be from behind and be able to get those 2 quick measurements.
You just using a tape measure or
use
something?
a tape measure,
Okay.
and at least give us a good baseline to get started with, and then be able to adjust accordingly for coverage.
Okay. And how much different is a sports bra likely to fit than something that she might be wearing to work or wearing around the house?
I always let them know that they want it comfortably snug.
Okay.
They're aware that it's there and it's supporting without it being too tight or restricting airway.
Okay. A lot of the fitting considerations are going to be the same, right? Those 2 measurements
Right.
that you mentioned, and going back to something Matt said earlier, 2 fingers
to
to be able to get that underneath the band, and ensuring that what seems to be a pretty common mistake if 80% of women are truly in the wrong size, that they're not getting a band that's too loose.
Right.
And then compensating for that by, and I love the term you used earlier, mashing, and then mashing themselves down by trying to compensate that by getting a cup size that's too small.
And a great little tip, I let ladies know when they're in there trying on, doors closed, do a little twist test. If that band is staying with the body when you're twisting, perfect. If that band is sliding around, you're going to chafe. So a quick little twist test is a perfect way to determine if that is a proper fit for you.
Excellent. So one of the things also that I've heard, and you mentioned chafing being such a big issue, especially when a woman's not been fit properly. For someone who has, is Body Glide or some kind of lubricant necessary or still a good idea if you're going to wear a support top?
It can help in a pinch, but it's usually an indication that the support has been lost in that top. It's more than likely been washed and worn one too many times when it starts chafing.
So really it shouldn't be necessary when you're properly fit in the bra and its core life cycle.
Like with everything, everybody's different skin sensitivity. It's there if you need it, but ideally if you're properly fitted, you shouldn't need it.
So I'm going to continue to kind of poke at you a little bit. I see women every once in a while wearing 2 support tops. If chafing's an issue and the band's not the right size, the cup's too small, and now you throw a second, and runners are great with fashion faux pas. Is this one of them, wearing 2 support tops at the same time?
It really is not. It's very uncomfortable. It actually can cause problems down the road. I've had a friend that was what she was always doing to feel like she was getting enough support.
Was wearing 2.
Ended up having to go see a doctor at one point because that was not a good thing. So you need the breathability, you need the support, you need the encapsulation that Moving Comfort provides in all of their bras, and being able to separate and support without mashing closer to the chest.
These are great scientific terms, right? Encapsulation all the way to mashing. Those are terrific terms. So she's saying, even though as Moving Comfort being part of what we oftentimes want to say, yeah, guess what? A second pair of shoes might make sense, or you're going to want to have an extra energy gel just in case. Rachel says wearing 2 support tops, not a good idea. You would agree with that?
Not a great idea.
Not a great idea. Okay, so coming back to you for a second, Matt. If we think about the simple fact that our personal considerations should even outweigh our professional interest. You've got your 3rd child on the way. You and Stafford have been together how long?
6 years.
So 6 years. Why would you suggest to her to get fit in an environment like this? What is it that your personal recommendation might hold that we're not even talking about Moving Comfort or what you know professionally?
Right. I think the specialty channel is, obviously it means a lot to me. I think the first thing you talk about is just the service. It's unparalleled in the world. The knowledge that people that are working in the running specialty channels, specifically Big Peach, the knowledge that they have and they're willing to share, it's all about making people feel comfortable. I think, especially shopping for a bra, it can be an intimidating, endeavor for a woman, I would imagine. And you got to say, like, if there's one place you should feel comfortable and you will feel comfortable, it's in the running specialty channel.
So I'm going to go read that intimidating. Is that true? I mean, isn't it intimidating?
It can be very intimidating.
Okay, and I think people have said that, look, I come to Big Peach Running Company and just feel so at home looking for a pair of shoes. I'll tell them about my bunions. I'm not embarrassed about my hammer toe. It used to be that overpronation was this dirty term, and now that's out in the open, and we'll take care of that. Not necessarily the case with support tops. How would you take out that intimidation if you were telling a friend or a neighbor who was making some mistakes, was part of that 80%, to drop that trepidation that she might have? What is it that you would coach her?
I would tell her how very professional the employees, the staff is at Big Peach, and that they truly care and they really want to help create and help you have the best experience during your activities as possible. And being properly fitted for a support top definitely does that. We can be as intimate in that fitting or not. It really, it's up to the guests, but we're definitely knowledgeable and staff to do accordingly.
Well, I think that's an important consideration. Thanks to Matt and his team at Moving Comfort, our entire team, men or women, are very, very qualified to help a woman get started in getting fit for a support top. At the same time, like Rachel mentioned, there are certain things that we just have to be mindful of. We have at least 2 dressing rooms in each location of ours. We have restrooms that are available for women who want a little bit more room to try on multiple support tops or any products for that matter. And then like Rachel said, and she personally has taken interest in our team and in the entire organization to ensure that we have women on staff and on site who can get, and I like her term, as intimate as necessary to ensure that person gets the right product for her. I was going to say for them, but really it's for her, right? So one more thing for you, Rachel. If you think about all of the ways that you might use a support top, forget about your time at Big Peach Running Company, but just as a user, what is it these days that is happening as part of a support top technology that you've seen, cool things that are happening, that you would say, wow, everybody should know this, because it's just something that most people don't have any idea is truly in a support top?
One thing, I mean, especially, I get it, I'm a female and we're all distracted by cute and fun, and right now strappy is in and showing peekaboo straps, and that's great, but just be mindful that that is supporting you during your activity. You want straps that are going to stay strong, and I have an example here, but you don't want a lot of give in your strap.
Okay.
You don't want a lot of stretch, because if it's stretching a lot, it's allowing for a lot of movement. So you want strength in your strap. So strengthen the band around the chest, but also strengthen your strap. And you can adjust. That's the awesome thing with Moving Comfort is the adjustable straps. So you can lengthen or shorten to get that custom fit.
Well, and one of the things that you said off camera that, you know, even I was unaware of until a few years ago is impact, and you mentioned, you know, where you're not getting the support can actually cause damage.
It can.
And it's, did you say tissue?
You can definitely damage breast tissue.
Breast tissue.
You can really cause a lot of problems in the shoulders and the neck region. Women have to go to the chiropractor and get adjusted, and really don't correlate the two, that maybe a lot of it is coming from not being properly fit in a support top.
Well, that's something that we can take for granted when we talk about shoes, and we talk about impact all the time and the importance of being protected from that impact. You know, up to 3 times your body weight upon heel strike, but the same type of forces are at play when we're thinking about women and whether or not they're getting the support they need up top. So, you know, if you don't mind me taking a quick look at this, you know, Matt, one of the things that I think rightfully surprises some of our female guests is the cost of a product like this.
Yep.
And I've been told that they should never anniversary, meaning that
right.
they should never be more than a year old. So it's a product they need to buy pretty regularly. And when you're as active as what Rachel is, you know, you've probably got multiple support tops because one's in the wash, or there's things that just suggest if you've only got one, there are days you're not getting the support you need.
Correct.
Something like this is going to be $50 plus.
Yep.
What is it that women are getting when they're making a purchase that, you know, truly in some cases is 50% almost of what they're spending on their running shoes?
You know, I think we've all kind of come to grips with the fact that shoes don't last forever.
Yep.
And I believe that runners kind of understand that your shoes are going to wear out. Your body kind of is the best indicator as to when your shoes have kind of worn out. It's time to go buy another one. We always say you shouldn't let your bra see a birthday, simply because the elasticity. When you first get fit, you know, you should be fitting on that middle hook. Everything should fit properly. Again, like we said, you should get about 2 fingers in the band. Over time, as you wear it and as you wash it, that elasticity starts to stretch out. And once that bra starts to stretch out, now we're not getting that perfect fit anymore, and that's when we can start leading to some chafing. And in terms of a price point, what you're getting out of, especially a Moving Comfort bra, simply is the materialization. We use some of the best fabrics in the world. The fabric we use is called horsepower, so it does give you a nice firm stretch, but it's not stretchy. It's giving you kind of the perfect amount of stretch that you need in your sports bra.
Well, I'm looking at some of the stuff on the tag. You can see how serious the technology as well as the innovation and ultimately the design is. Here's one thing that if you didn't know, just as a quick tidbit, Moving Comfort, they are part of Berkshire Hathaway, as is Brooks Sports. Berkshire Hathaway, many of you have heard that term, independent of that ownership group. January of 2017, all of the Moving Comfort products will go under the Brooks Sports name. That is correct?
That's correct.
That correctly? So you'll see Moving Comfort on the tag currently by January of 2017. All of the technology we're talking about today, all of the innovation from the past, and I'm sure to come, will be under the Brooks name. I think that's important. Moving Comfort, even if the name is not referred to as often 6 to 12 months from now, the same innovation, the same commitment to design, and obviously the improvement will be there. Matt, Rachel, thank you so very much for being willing to share both of your personal experience as well as your deep, deep expertise. And again, thank you very much. If you have any questions, let us know. You can send us an email at info@bigpeachrunningco.com. Like I said earlier, we do have people in every single store on every single day that would be more than happy to ensure that you are in the correct support top. Again, may your best miles be those covered on foot.